Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Jannu tribe. And we are back with the drama of the shadows in the tide pool continuing to spread. So as you guys remember from last time, we have Dado over here, who was once upon a time thought to potentially be one of the heiresses to the seers of the tide pool. But I would say that she has forfeited her right to be the heiress after her recent behavior of nest stealing. Kind of like meerkats will force others away from the nest so that only one female can give birth and be in control of the family line. Dado was kind of falling into that behavior. So she took over the nest and actually bumped Anna out of the way so that she would be able to have a third baby before Anna even had a chance. She's been pregnant for ages to have her child. And Dado thought that was just her right because she's had these beautiful panda children. This is her third little baby right here. Israri, excuse me. And Israri is really pretty and she has the ability to do the cracking, but she doesn't have the antlers that really the seers of the tide pools have considered to be a very important trait that they wanted to have in the family tree for the seers who are supposed to come down to the tide pools and find clams like these clam shells right here to crack open and then be able to interpret what they should do based off of if they find little pearls or things like that, as many of you guys suggested, inside the clams, or how the seaweed lines up on the waters. And so Dado had more of an aggressive, kind of territorial take on trying to take over almost by force as the leader of the seers of the tide pool. But as you guys know, last time both her youngest babies became sick and it started raining all at the same time. So I think Dado's a little bit shaken, however you want to say it. And she's a little bit shook, which is really what everybody seems to be saying lately. And she just is wondering if maybe she did something wrong and maybe she should be sharing the nest with her sister Anna and allowing Anna to go ahead and have children of her own like they always traditionally have done. Ever since the beginning of the tribe on this island, they have always shared the mother's peninsula and helped to raise one another's children. And then here was Dado kind of trying to set herself up as the leader, like the matriarchal queen, not sharing the nest, and now her two children are sick, and none of her children, even though she tries to pretend it doesn't bother her, none of her children have been born with the antlers that are usually considered a very good sign of the seers. Meanwhile, Anna happens to have the antlers, and they're not red, but they are pink. And I wonder if that and her more friendly behavior, kind of having a more important, like she has a really wide outlook at being able to take care of the whole tribe instead of just her own interest. And I wonder if that's actually going to allow her to be considered as one of the possible heirs. And Anna, I think, is either the daughter or the sister. I think she's the sister of Isila, who is the current heir to the seer line. And I think that they're going to have something, they're going to work something out between each other. They're both crackers, so they can both crack things open. And I'm pretty sure that's what we're going to have happen with the seers. So hang in there, you guys, because we're about to have a bit of a twist. Because while Dado is thinking, oh, maybe I should actually share the nest and get out of the way and allow Anna to take the nest over and share, and maybe the ancestors will forgive me and her children. Poor Reef is now sick, and we're going to rename this little one to, let's see, we have Beryl, Tumi, yeah. We'll do Tumi. After tourmaline, which is a black stone. But now Tumi and Reef are both sick, and so Dado would be thinking, oh, maybe if I like get out of her way and stand over here, maybe this will make it so that, like, you know, Anna will get in the nest and then Tumi and Reef will get better. But I think Anna is actually going to reveal a twist of her own, and she's leaving. So Anna's done with this. They've been trying to settle over here. They've been trying to make this work, and it's just not. And I think Anna is finished, and she's not going to put up with that anymore. So she's going to take her very pregnant self back to the traditional family reef. And I think that that is actually what's going to happen. We are going to see a return of the proper seers and the traditional seer line. No pattern, antlers that are usually red in coloring, females who can crack open the clam clamshells, we're going to see the Seri line end up returning back to the Mother's Peninsula. But don't worry, because there are still plans that I have in mind for little Beryl and the others. We have some amazing shadowy pandas that are really starting to make their genetic imprint feel pretty strong in the tribe. I really love seeing how many pandas we have over here. But somebody had a really good suggestion that I liked a lot for our pandas, and that's going to be that instead of cracking open clams, because little Beryl, who's been raised to believe that she is supposed to become the next heiress to the tide pools, she's finding she doesn't really like the tide pools. There's no clams. She's not really finding anything down here. She's a little bit frustrated at the lack of being able to have this innate sense of what she should be doing with the water and the waves and the way the seaweed looks that everyone says that she should. And I think little Beryl is actually going to turn around, and she is going to go into the shadowy forest area, and she's going to find that instead of cracking open the clamshells and seeing the future and figuring out how to guide the tribe from the clamshells, she is going to be cracking open these acorns, and she is going to be able to see from breaking open the acorn shells what she believes the tribe should do. So we now officially have a break between the two. We will have our all white, ideally antlered seers of the tide pool, and we'll hopefully get a whole line of them up along here so we can watch and see for when the clams open up. And then the seer's job will be to go around and break them open as often as possible to gather up food and see the future for the tribe. And then over here, we're going to start having the forest pandas, the shadow pandas, that'll really stick to the forest. We might even make it so that we don't clear all of the grass away, because they like to see the mysteries of what will show up from the shadows. And we will make a path that they can walk between the trees, and then hopefully they can gather stuff up, and they might even run into the hedgehogs then. So there we go, long-winded little explanation of where the story's going, but I know many of you guys love the story, so I really appreciate it. And then down here, we do have a twist to our story, because we have this little guy, and I'm going to rename him, let's see, he's got hind leg and strength of 1. What are your, oh, look at him, short-sighted eyes, H and D immunity. I don't think we have immunity H in the family, so, oh my gosh, and brown fur. I'm gonna name him, I kind of want to name him Dugdrio. Dugdrio even. I'm gonna name him that. Doug for short. So this is Doug, like when you dig, and the past tense of dig is Doug. This is Doug, and he is our new random wandering male who has been popping by, and he has gotten Lilia pregnant, and I don't know what to think about that, but she does have immunity D, which I really needed, and she does have the ability to crack things open. So we unexpectedly find her pregnant. She's going to be, no, Lila, there we go. You're gonna have to come and explain yourself. Who's your parent again, Lilia? Let's see. And her parents, oh, Mito was her parent. Oh, Lilia, that's so cool. So Lilia, yeah, Racimi is her sibling. I forgot Mito was her mother. So she's going to come back from having been gathering up all of these nuts, very confused and needing to use the nest. And I think this time Dado will actually... Dado? That's my fault, because I moved to the other female and forgot. And I think that you have just had the punishment of the shadows. I think everybody's in shock. I'm in shock. I should have known better. That was the first child we've ever lost from a bird on this island. And I think that that just struck Dado's heart and cracked it in two. I don't think she's ever going to have aspirations to try to control the tribe and take over and be the only female to like have a matriarchal line like we've had in past tribes before ever again. Okay. Wow. Man, he had some really fun genetics too. Beryl, you better get back up here with your mom. That was I'm a little bit in shock. All right, we're gonna have Beryl go straight under the tree and hide under the tree and hopefully be able to gather up the nuts and maybe bring some, maybe she'll start collecting up like the acorn tops and things like that and bringing them over to her mother to try to soothe her mother's wounded heart, because that just broke Dado's heart in two. I can't believe we just lost that baby. Wow. Okay, that happened. I think that definitely surprised Ravanta, and I think that would have upset him quite a bit. And I wonder, You know what? I think that would have upset Ravanta enough that he would come and talk to Racimi. Are you guys related in any way? There's Racimi, and where's Ravanta? I'm not terribly low on my males, but I'm not terribly high on them either. They're not too closely related. So I think that these two they saw a tragedy, and somehow I just really like the idea of them falling in love. And so I'm going to go ahead and let her become pregnant. That will also actually protect her in case that male, the new male Doug that we have around here, in case he decides that he wants to wander by. I want to make sure that Racimi doesn't find herself in a very confusing family way, the way that poor little Lilia finds herself. So we're going to make sure that she's safe from that, and maybe find another nest over here. And these two, I think, are probably one of my first... I'm gonna say these two just kind of belong to each other, because I really like that. Just they saw something terrible happen, and they bonded over trying to console one another and thinking about how they're on the outskirts and they're going to keep the tribe safe. So they'll have a child, which I'm really excited to see. And meanwhile, down here, we do have this little group, which is quite fun. We have Little Cloud and we have Itty Bitty Little Solo. And we do need to have my females, if I can, wander all the way back over. And let's see, can you crack anything, my dear? You can crack things. So Ravari, let's send you, we're gonna swap you out with where your son is. And I'm gonna send her over here to crack that shell open. And then I'm going to keep... Let's see, you're going to stay right over here, little one. Rissiana is kind of showing her son where the edges of the territory are, but they also are better at keeping track of their children and not wandering too far away where the bird can get to them. So we're going to keep my two spit snout females on the Lost Peninsula over at the Lost Peninsula, but I am going to try to send them over to see if I can get them pregnant one more time, if we're lucky, with Doug, who's wandering around somewhere. All right, so that's a little bit of drama going on there. And then, of course, we have Corey, who I wanted to try to get pregnant and pass on some of the genes that she's carrying. So she is going to have Rodukduk's child. Rodukduk has been doing a good job. I think he's going to go ahead and explore these spots. Corey can explore that spot. And then I might have Corey go up to the Lost Peninsula. I'm going to have to think about it. So Corey moves very slowly because she doesn't have the best eyesight. So she may add her child to the Lost Peninsula because she actually wants to go there because that looks like a really good training ground. She's very, very tough. She wants to go somewhere where her fighting skills can be appreciated. And this just looks like an area, kind of like I was saying last time, it reminds me of the hyena elephant boneyard in Lion King, where you just go and there's always constantly fights amongst each other, not because they're aggressive, these ones at least, but because they're training up and trying to become stronger. All right, so we're gonna have Lamella. She does not have cracking, which is why she basically doesn't have the seer sight. If you don't have the cracking ability and antlers, then you don't have seer sight, is what it's really turning out to be. But she can help out with gathering berries and bringing fresh food to the family. And then over here we have Isiana, and Isiana has short-sighted eyes, so she may have seer sight because she has cracking ability, but she does not have practical ability of being able to do things. And then, of course, don't forget little Anaro, which many of you guys are really like him. And I think that he is going to be raised by his mother to believe in the traditional ways of taking care of the seers of the sea. And he's got those beautiful orange eyes. All right, so let's see. What am I going to do with her? I think we're going to have her come down here. And we're going to bring her baby with her very, very carefully so we don't lose said baby. And we'll bring her very nervous daughter with her too. I think Rira can actually zip around the place in seconds because she's got some really great movement. So she'll come and stay with her auntie Isiana. But I think that we'll have Isiela go ahead and try to teach her son, if not her daughter, who's very flighty and scared of everything, what it means to be the seer of the tide pool, and keep an eye out for the clams and gather up what we can. I guess that Rira can actually help us to be able to look for clams. What I want to do is start setting creatures up along the border so that they can also keep an eye out not only for the bunnies and the crabbits, but also the clams too. So as soon as there's a clam, a seer can zip over there and collect it. All right, so that's that big giant branch of the family. And then here's the surprise. You guys look. Oh my gosh. This is so perfect. This is exactly the pattern I wanted. Our orca has been reborn at the waterfall nest, and I'm really excited for this. Our little family right over here, who had such a terrible loss when both of the females passed away, is finally celebrating the birth of a new child, Siko Anna, and we'll probably give her a new name. I'm going to name her Ora Oka. So Ora Oka is over here, and she's only got fishing 2 instead of fishing 3, so I was really hoping for more, but that does mean she has fishing and underwater breathing and cracking, and those are things that we really desperately wanted to see piled up on top of each other. I really would love to see cracker jaw and maybe the webbed feet. Well, she does have the webbed feet, I think. I can't tell. Let's see. Yeah, she has recessive webbed hind legs. So there's a few other traits I would really love to see on her, but she is immensely healthy, and she's got the fishing tail, so she should be able to be a good fisher, and she can go deep sea swimming and crack open the clams. Oh, she doesn't have any attack at all. Really? No attack at all? Huh. So she doesn't have any attack, so she won't be able to help out with crabbits, but she can gather up clams and she can gather up fish. So that's an improvement on our underwater group, because then we have this little guy, Kirnu. Why? Who's about to pass away. I'm sorry, Kirnu. And Kirnu has really good swimming, but he doesn't have really good fishing. Oh, he had a whole bunch of the things I wanted. I'm so sorry, Kirnu. Oh my gosh, there's so many clams. I need to crack open all these clams. So much I need to do. Watch our orca group and the Seers of the Tide Pool group start reuniting as a family and getting a lot done. All right, so let's go ahead. I'm going to have Mirami step just over 1 and become pregnant with the next child, because holy moly, they had a great kid. What do I have over here? Yeah, I forgot I put this in. I think I'm going to go ahead and put gray for... I'm going to go ahead and put the brown eyes in as a possible mutation, and then I should probably try with big body. I'm not sure. I have to look into who I'm trying to have babies next, so that I can determine like who should have what genetics. And then Koki is ready to start doing a little bit of gathering, so he can go ahead and gather that. And then Kokima actually can do some fishing. So no, get back over here, fish. If the fish would hold still. Oh, that's so frustrating. He was going to do the fishing, and then the fish ran off. Oh, well, we'll figure out. You need like a team to be able to school the fish, I'm finding. So we'll figure out how to get there eventually. All right, and Nuke here, I'm going to go ahead and have him grab a few of those things and then go move with the group. And then Vanvanku, should I have him just start moving on? Simi is going to grab these berries really quickly. And then Vanvanku, yeah, we'll have Vanvanku kind of start exploring along the edges. Oh, there's another tree and more nuts where our hedgehogs are moving to the north. Oh, and speaking of hedgehogs moving to the north, here's Sikora, who is getting quite old, but in her own slow way, she has cleared a tiny little path, and she has made headway for the family to one day be able to retrace her steps. So, whew, that was keeping us really busy. All right, well, let's go ahead and make sure nothing bad happens. Everybody doing okay? I heard sniffles. Who has a cold? Who's sick? I can't believe Dado lost her child like that too. It was just so sudden. Toomey is still sick, so I think Dado is going to be taking that very, very, very seriously. So let's move Toomey up under the tree, and I think Dado is going to slip into the shadows. And then Corey, should I have Corey go ahead and have her baby right now? Let's see. I think I want to see what the child born from Doug is going to look like. So we'll grab a snack with Lilila and allow her to pop over here. And then Rodukduk, you're about to pass away, buddy. Yep, he is about to pass away. I'm going to be in a little bit of trouble, but we'll go ahead and let him just like settle in, and he can just sit next to the females while he's resting and getting ready for the end of his days, which is very sad. And Corey, she's going to take a while, but I guess I can slowly, she just does not move fast at all. I can slowly but surely try to have her move towards the outer peninsula where she wants to go exploring. And Racimi, I'll have Racimi like pop over here to try to help Corey out. because if I move Racimi over here, Corey can move faster this way. And I think Ravanta would be a little bit worried with Racimi getting out of his eyesight. So we'll have him move in this direction. There we go. That lights up a whole bunch of the area, and they can start clearing the grasses away over there. And then Racimi can come over here and use this nest to have a child, because I think Dado, until like, oh man, the only male that we really have in the nearby area happens to be the wandering male. But you know what? If we got to do what we got to do. And Beryl, I think, is actually going to be gathering up those nuts, and she is going to be offering them to her mother. That's so sad that her little brother got eaten by the bird. Oh, I didn't mean for that to happen. I truly didn't. All right, and we'll have, there's bunnies everywhere. Get the berries before the bunnies do. And then Anna, I desperately need you to be able to get over to the nest. So we're going to see if Anna, yeah, she has just enough time to pop back in. She's going to bring back tales of woe to her sister, Isila, and they're going to hear about how the family tried to leave the Mother's Peninsula, but then all these terrible things happened, and what we should really do is just set up like a family chain of clam searchers along here, and then we can gather up all the clams and keep the family fed that way. All right, so let's move a little Onro. Need to make sure we keep him not too far away. Onro is going to be learning about how important it is to keep an eye out on the clan, and then we'll have Isila. She doesn't have fishing ability. Moving carefully, and then carefully. Aha! And she found a clam finally, so she can eat that clam. And then over here we have my short-sighted female and her very nervous-natured niece, just going to sit over here and kind of keep an eye on everything. I could have my short-sighted female sort of, she can crack things open. So she can help out a little bit. She just can't really see it all. All right, all the fish scooched away yet again. Very frustrating. Can you help out Koki, little Koki? Let me try to move big Koki. Maybe over here, and then up here, and then fish. Did I get all of them? I got all of them! All right. So yeah, the higher your fishing skill, the more fish you can yank up. Oh my gosh, and we have 30 food. We're doing pretty good. And then little Orika. There we go. She's over here. I love her abilities. We just need to have tons of siblings who can kind of do what she does. So we'll scooch her over there. Her mom will sit inside of the nest very nice and safe, getting ready to have her next baby. And little Koki, I guess we can go ahead and send him down. He can't do underwater breathing, but hey now, back off you. I'm keeping an eye on you, Doug. I don't think that Kukima would put up with you very much, Doug. All right. So we might have to have a little fight with Doug and get him moving. And speaking of getting moving, since we have so much food, we should probably just allow this group to keep zipping along without holding up the works for too long. All right, now that they've made it this far, we can try to push back in. I cannot believe that there wouldn't be another nest up here. Oh, what the heck? Oh my gosh! Look, it's one of the healing plants. Oh, that's so interesting. So the moles have found the healing plants. All right, come on, Simi. We're about to lose all of our moles just because they're aging out. So let's keep moving. Come on, all of the moles need to go to the north. I think I'm about to lose them because I just don't have enough. And I guess I'll just have to push through, see if I can discover anything really quickly and have like one last baby. All right, everybody good over here? And then I just have my Lost Peninsula group that I need to work with. The boys are old enough to take care of themselves, so I know what that means. I don't think my females would have the time to get there, but I'm gonna let the moms leave. The two mothers are just gonna feel the pull and the lure that somewhere out there happens to be another male that can potentially bring them children. And then I'll just have to send the boys around. If the boys can find some crabbits, they should be able to feast off of the crabbits. But until then, they can just kind of focus on... Oh, please. Okay, Cloud, are you drowning? Please don't drown, Cloud. I didn't mean to stick you in water that was too deep. I mean, I guess that's something you could kind of force kill some of the creatures you don't want by throwing them off a cliff into the water. But I don't want to do that. Okay, let's see. Yeah, we'll have to see what the boys will end up doing and just how long we can keep that line going. That's just an experiment. All right, and let's see if our happy little waterfall family gets to welcome in another awesome orca. Oh, it's a beautiful baby boy, and that was a predator. Oh, Corey, You have a chance to test your strength. Oh my gosh. Well, you know, Corey's always wanted to do battle, and she does have some pregnancy cravings that are currently pestering her right now. So, yeah, goodness, we'll be taking care of this. We will be taking care of this in just a moment. And Corey's child added over to the Lost Peninsula might be what keeps their group alive, actually. So, okay. First things first, I think that Dado is going to be taking the fact that this predator showed up pretty seriously. Racimi is also one of my strongest females. They both have some pregnancy cravings that might need to be addressed right here. So we'll go ahead and let them take care of Mr. Predator. All right, there we go. Couple good hits to him there. And then, yeah, he's gone. And the two ladies get to share a little bit of delicious food. That was awesome. That was awesome, actually. I think that Ravanta, all he can really do is just stare in awe that just happened. All right, and then we can clear away a bit more of the grass around him and hopefully clear away some of the grass over here. And one more right there. And now we have a clear path. I actually have a clear path to be able to help these guys get from the Lost Peninsula over to the rest of the island now. All right, so that's done. And I can go ahead, get away, little bunny. I am not going to let you get away from my berry bushes. All right, so we have Doug's child. Oh my gosh. Oh, and he's got a lot of abilities. Look at him. All right, little Doug's child. Well, we'll call him, let's see, Doug Drio is who I'm going to name him Doug Drio with 2 eyes, because he's actually going to carry on that name. And yes, I know that's a Pokemon. I love that Pokemon. So he's going to go and move to the Lost Peninsula as well. It's turning into all boys over there, but that's just where all of the rogue male's children end up being pulled over towards. So his mother is going to very confusedly, yes, that's a word, very confusedly sort of just stare at him and collect up some berries and feed him, and he'll wander away once he is of age. So that's happening. And then down here, little Toomey is, like, she had a lot of sickness. At least she's still alive, and at least she can help out with collecting the little nuts. And I think that this is kind of where Beryl is showing her mother, look, we can gather up all these nuts. It's going to be okay. Like, I know you're really sad about my brother, but it'll be all right. And I think that Dado is kind of realizing that maybe she challenged everything too much. Maybe she upset the balance, and that's why the shadows lashed back out at her. And meanwhile, haha, somebody's finally old enough to be left on his own. Anaro, I'm so glad. Meanwhile, Anaro is going to be doing what he can to help out the family, which, can you get this bunny? Get the bunny out of the nest. Oh my gosh, Anaro will be over here, and he'll try to help out Anna with whatever child she's about to have born. Hopefully it'll be a good seer who can be passed on, who can carry on the seer line. But Izila, I think Izila's about to pass away. She gathered up one less clamshell, and I think that she left her son Anaro with the task of bringing back the purity and the strength of the seer of the tide pool line. So we'll have to see if I can actually bring back anybody who's like her, where they have cracking and they have they don't even need collecting. They just need cracking, and they need the antlers, and they need to have just pure white fur. So we'll have to see who Anaro picks and how many babies they have to have before we have another proper seer born. I mean, Lamella could have been it, but she doesn't have cracking ability. All right, and we'll go ahead. Rira, nervous little Rira, can go ahead and zip around. She can actually move very far and very fast. So we'll have her be our beach runner and start searching for all sorts of different clams along the side of the beach. And Izana can't see for anything, so she can kind of move around and help out, but she's not very good at it. She can at least crack open shells when she finds them. So in a pinch, Izana does have the seer ability. She has the seer sight. She just doesn't have much she can do with it. And then we have this little boy, Nunu. I'm going to give you a new name. He, just like his brother Koki, doesn't have the ability to do too much, but he might end up moving in with the seer line, because he's got the coloring for it, and he's got the cracking ability, and he's got the collecting ability, but he doesn't really have anything that helps us out with the fishing. So that looks like Orica. Hey now! This is not how that works. Alright, get out of here. Yeah, I think that Kukima would not put up with Doug being around his mate. That's not happening. So we'll have to defend them. And then little Koki, I think I'll have Koki move around and look for crabbits. He can fight some crabbits and he can collect up some clams. So I think we need to get the quantity of aquatic creatures up, and that'll really help us out. All right, and finally, our very, very slow moving, oh, my old hedgehog died. Our very slow moving mole group, who I think at this rate is probably going to pass away before we can find anything to do with them. Yeah, I don't think that they're going to have any luck finding a proper nest, because I don't think there's a nest up here. Oh, there's a little tree trunk, but I don't think that there's actually a nest to be found on this side of the island, you guys. So we might end up losing our entire mole line. That would be a little sad, but that happens sometimes when you've got these gigantic family trees with genetics that just keep going and going and going. And there's some crabbits. All right, so Cloud, you can't do cracking. Thankfully, the new brother that they'll have, well, brother of the rogues, does have the cracking ability, so hopefully he'll be over there soon. I need you, buddy. Come here, Cloud. You need to get over to your brother, and you two are going to start trying to fight the crabbit. And I'm just gonna have to wait until the crabbit moves. All right, so that gets everybody all lined up. We've had some pretty serious lessons given to Dado. I don't think she's ever going to aspire for the dreams that she once had of kind of ruling over the tribe and being able to control the will of the gods in a way by reading what was in the sand and in the shells. She's pulled away from the beaches and the cliff sides that stole her son. And we had our two very pregnant females enjoy chasing down a predator and making a lunch out of him. And then we also have our little honor row tasked with the hope that his mother has left with him of being able to bring back the purity of the seers of the tide pool for the sake of the entire tribe. So we'll have to see how that works out, and I think we're starting to get enough food now that I really am going to get more comfortable with turning out a lot more babies. So things are going to start moving pretty quick, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.